Hello everyone. Our topic today is about the documentation and the records in the pharmaceutical industry. Firstly, let me introduce ourselves. Our names are Hadir Mustafa, Olfat Ihab, and Ru'a Ayman. Now, are you ready? Okay, let's go. Firstly, we started with the definition of the documentation. What is the documentation mean? It is an essential part of the quality assurance system should exist for all aspects of the GMP. Its aims are to define the specification and procedure for all materials, methods of manufacture, and control to ensure that all personnel concerned with the manufacture know what to do and when to do. Documentation, also known to be the key of the GMP compliance and ensures the traceability of all development, manufacturing, and testing activity. Also, documentation provides the route for auditors to assess the overall quality of operation within a company and the final product. It also ensures the availability of the data needed for validation. The design of document depends upon the manufacturer. In some cases, some of the documents described below, but they will usually be separate. And now we will discuss the general requirements needed for the good documentation process. The first one, documents should be designed, prepared, and reviewed with care. Secondly, documents should be clear, concise, and free from all errors. It also should be easy to check. Documents should be regularly reviewed and keep up to date. In case of the alteration, the reason for this alteration should be recorded and written in our documentation papers. Secondly, the record should be retained for at least 1 year after the expiry date of the finished product. Data may be recorded by either electronic data processing system or by photographic or other reliable means. And the accuracy of the record should be checked. If documentation is handled by the electronic data processing method, only the authorized person should be able to enter or modify the data in the computer. Batch records stored electronically should be protected by backup transfer, microfilm, electronic disk, or other means. And now we will discuss the types of the document. The first type was the quality manual, which is defined as the global company document that described in the program form or the regulations that the company is required to follow. The second type is the policies, which is the document that describe in general terms but no step-by-step instructions how the specific GMP aspect will be implemented. The third type was the standard operating procedures, which is known by the step-by-step instructions in the opposite to the policies for performing operational tasks or the activities. The fourth type is the test method, which is defined as the documents are typically used and completed by the quality control department. It provides the step-by-step instruction also for testing supplies, materials, product, and other production-related tasks and activities. The next type was the batch records. These documents are typically used and completed by the manufacturing department. The next method was known to be the specifications, which is the document that listed the requirements that a supply material or product must meet before being released for use or sale. The final method was known to be the logbooks, which is bound collection of form used to document activities. Typically, logbooks are used for documenting the operation, maintenance, and calibration of a piece of equipment. Now we will talk about the specifications. Documents list the requirements that a product must meet before being released for use or sale. The quality control department will compare their test results to specifications to determine if they pass the test.
Specifications should be established and documented for raw materials, intermediate, as well as for labeling and packaging materials. Specifications and testing procedures. There should be appropriately authorized and dated specifications, including tests on identity, content, purity, quality for starting and packaging materials and for finished products. Testing procedures described in documents should be validated in the context of available facilities and equipment before they are adopted for routine testing. Specifications for water, solvent, and reagents used in production should be included. Each specification should be approved, dated, and maintained by the quality control or quality assurance unit. Periodic revisions of the specification may be necessary to comply with new editions of the National Pharmacopoeia or other official compendia. Specifications include specification for starting and packaging materials, specifications for intermediate and bulk products, specifications for finished product should include name of the product, code reference, the active ingredients, the storage condition and precautions, description of the dosage form. And now we will talk about record. A record is any document that has been made final and is no longer meant to be altered. If you have a record, then it has passed the point of being changed. Now you have to store the record somewhere where you can access it easily if the need arises. Record management solutions deal with maintaining records by indexing, storing, securing, archiving them in a way that keeps them safe and easily accessed by those who need them. Record requirements. Record must be kept at the time each action is taken. Storage of critical record must at secure place with access limited to authorized persons. Records which are critical regulatory compliance or to support essential business must be duplicated on paper, microfilm, and stored in secure location in a separate version from the original. Records should be maintained including the name of the manufacturer, identity, and the quantity of each shipment of raw materials, intermediates, or labeling and packaging material. The results of any tests or examination performed and the conclusion derived from this. The final decision regarding rejected raw materials, intermediates, or labeling and packaging material. Now I will talk about laboratory control records. Laboratory control records should include description of sample received for testing, including material name or resource batch number, measure of sample used for each test as described by the method, a statement of test result and how they compare with established acceptance criteria, the signature of the person who performed each test and the date on which the tests were performed. Then standard operating procedure and record SOPs. SOPs should be available for equipment, assembly and validation, analytical apparatus used, cleaning and sanitization, personal matter including qualification, training, clothing and hygiene, environmental monitoring, recall and return. Then requirements for SOPs. There should be SOPs for receipt of each delivery of starting material, primary and printed packaging material. The record of the receipt should be included. The name of the material and containers, the date of receipt, the supplier's name and if possible manufacturer name, the total quantity and number of containers received, the batch number assigned for receipt, any relevant comments. And there should be SOPs for the internal labeling and storage of starting materials, packaging material, and other material. SOPs should be available for each instrument and piece of equipment, and there should be an SOP describing the details of the batch. And there should be written procedure for testing material and product at different stages of manufacture. And written release and rejection procedure should be available for material and product, and in particular for the release for sale of the finished product by an authorized person.